Sharla and I love getting together once a week just to chat about books and geek out because we are the only fandom for the Loraillvon series, but we want to make friends. Yes. So if you have read the books, please join us, watch this video. If you haven't, but you really want to, stop watching this video. There are going to be a lot of spoilers. Please go to Amazon, go to Barnes & Noble, online. That's where my books are for sale. Help me by buying books so that one day they can be for sale on the shelves of Barnes & Noble.
Yeah.
If you just are very curious because you knew me from high school and you're like, what is she up to? What is this video about? Or maybe you love Sharla and you know her very well, but you have no intention to read the book, that's fine. Watch us, support us, buy a book anyway because it helps local artists. Mm-hmm. All right, so spoilers, let's do this. We're going to talk about Sorrell. Sorrell is what we call a reflection self of the main character, Eloria. Mm-hmm. She brings this young, hurting teenage girl from the real world into her Narnia-like world of Loraillvon, and she is almost Eloria's guide through this. But there's so much more to Sorrell than that. Mm-hmm. So you first meet Sorrell as a mirror image, and then you enter the world of Loraillvon. And really, you find out pretty quickly that everyone knows Sorrell's got some secrets, but they don't know what they are.
Yeah.
So there's some mystery behind her. She brought Eloria to this world, and everyone's like, what? Hold on. What did you do? And how did you do it? And do you realize what you just did? So Sorrell, just her bringing this girl over to their world was not only a no-no, but a major surprise and something she was not allowed to do.
Yeah.
Yeah. But tell me what you thought of Sorrell. just put it out there. Just put it out there.
I love Sorrell. She's one of my favorite characters. She has this like fighting spirit, also a fierce protectiveness of her group. Like she will, it's like once you have Sorrell on your side, I feel like she's so loyal that she's not going to leave you, which is funny because of what happens eventually in the second book.
Look at those contradictory personality
traits. Because the thing is, she's keeping a lot of secrets as well, but I mean, I always thought that she was good at heart. In the second book, when she basically betrays everyone in a sense when you find out that she grew up in this world that is basically run by Quillsbrog.
She was part of the evil ones.
And she was a spy as well. But she wanted to be different when she went to Loraillvon.
The Seraphim ruled country.
And realizes that life could be different. She wanted that life, and she falls in love with a man. She gets married to him, and then she dies.
She dies.
But she doesn't really die.
Everyone loves marriage on the deathbed.
Yes. So, I mean, I really love Sorrell. And, of course, she shows her truer colors, I guess, by helping Eloria escape in the second one. And you know that she's good. And it's just like, she has to deal with the consequences of what she did.
So many consequences.
Everything has consequences. Every action has a consequence. But, my heart goes out to her because I just feel for her. And I feel bad for her about the things that she had to do. And it just kind of sucks because some of the people that she trusted the most don't trust her. And it takes a really long time for her to gain that confidence back.
The people you trust the most are hurt the most by your betrayal.
Yeah.
Did you believe that she had truly died in self-conclusion?
Well, yes, when I first read it.
Come here. When you first read it.
Yeah, when I first read it.
She's dead.
But then I knew at the end that she wasn't dead.
Yeah. So you drew that connection.
I did.
With them searching her bag and the things that came out of it.
Oh, yes. I knew she was coming back.
Did you figure out what it was that fell from the bag that clicked? It was the moment that it clicked for Killian and Taven of who Sorrell was. I guess I've never asked you that.
I can't remember.
It's
been a while.
They shake out the bag, a couple of books fall out, and here's what's funny. If you've read the books, draw some conclusions here with me. The books were the history of the Seraphim line, the history of Loraillvon, and then she had a few other knickknacks. Basically, I think I tried to write, like, they named the titles of these books, and it's to tell you that she was doing her research on the history of the Seraphim. Like, she was trying to figure out, not necessarily who was the real Prince Emrys, but, like, she was doing this reading, and that's what led her to figure out Killian's secret. Yeah. But it was a crooked black knife, black knife that came from her bag that tumbled out, that the guys are like, whoa! Right. They, like, jump back, and they're like, oh, and Killian's all like, bro, your wife, like, was the bad guy. You realize that? And this is all unspoken, it's just through eye contact. Yeah. And Taven's like, bro, I know. Like, and Killian's, okay, but you got my back, right, bro? And he's like, bro, yeah. Like, let's do this. And I think that's the moment they realized. I think that it really clicked for them. Okay, Sorrell, we knew there was a secret.
Yeah. We just found out what it was, and it was a big one. It
is not the kind of secret we thought it was.
No.
And crap, if this has been Sorrell, the Sorrell we grew up with and knew all our lives, I mean, they immediately know Eloria's in danger.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, and she's the one that brought about the prophecy to begin with, because she brought Eloria to this world. So I feel like that's got to be like I don't even know what they would be thinking at that point, you know?
Right?
Because,
me neither.
Oh my goodness, there's just so much that has happened.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so you're questioning, you know, did she, I don't know, because, I just have so many questions going on in my mind now that
Oh, you make me feel like I write such good books.
Well, you do.
Yeah.
Y'all should read them.
Yeah. I really thought Sorrell was probably one of my Sorrell and Taven were probably the least interesting characters that I wrote. Because I didn't feel like there's nearly as much development. And I remember asking you one time, like, do you feel like there's any, like, development in Eloria? Do you feel like she goes through any growth? And you're like, yeah. What?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. I feel like, I mean, there's just a lot of tension between Sorrell and Taven in book 2, because they're trying to figure, their honeymoon, essentially, they're finally back together. They're not ever, like, in the same room together. He's, like, basically refusing to even speak to her.
Yeah.
He's got her captive, like, with dragons.
He's like, hey, I got these soldiers now.
They're
just gonna go guard you.
Yeah. But I mean, you talk about the fact that there is no divorce. Do you talk about that in the books?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, so they're stuck together for the rest of their lives, and they've got to figure it out. And she's eventually just put up with it. Like, she's what's the word I'm looking for?
Suck it up?
She's like, not put out, but she's like, I don't know. She's very frustrated, and she was like, okay, listen, we need to figure this out, because I'm not going to take another minute of this.
One of my favorite, or not favorite, I guess, but one of my most Sorrellish scenes of Sorrell in Alter, I was like, oh, this is Sorrell right here. She marches off to Gemrose, and she's like, listen up, dragon. You're going to read my mind. You're going to listen to my thought. You're going to look at my memories, and you're going to go tell this Prince of Dragons everything you see, because I'm not dealing with this anymore. Like, you're going to fix this.
Yes.
So she's like, that's it. I'm taking charge, which is very much Sorrell. She's not going to sit there and wait around for someone to finally forgive her. She's not the kind of girl that's going to be like, I'm so sorry, please forgive me, and I'm going to give you a month until you tell me how you feel. She's like, no, we got things to do, so I ask for your forgiveness.
The fate of the world,
right,
is resting on this. Get over yourself.
Get over yourself. Forgive me, and let's get to work. Or don't forgive me. We're still getting to work.
Yep.
Maybe readers don't get this from the culture I tried to write, but you don't go tell a dragon what to do. Dragons are proud creatures. Most people know this from any book, including dragons. That is certainly true for Loraillvon. But to me, it's so easy to think, oh, like, just go show a dragon. You know, oh, the dragons can read their minds. Just show a dragon, show a beast. They can read their minds, you know, they can see their memories, they can see these images in your head. Oh, that's easy. But I'm like, you don't treat someone like that. You know, this goes back to a question you asked a while ago this evening, but probably a video I posted a long time ago. You asked, why do I like this genre, the fantasy genre? And I love that you can create cultures. And Sorrell is a great example of this. We're talking about different cultures. She grew up in a different culture, so was sent over to the Seraphim-run country that is very different. She learned a new culture, then she chose which culture she wanted to be a part of. But what I love about fantasy is you can write worlds and cultures that are so different. I think sometimes people have trouble wrapping their heads around that because in Loraillvon there is no necessarily feminism. Like people have always been equal.
Yeah.
Men have never been more than women. Women have never been lesser than men. Like you're assigned to these houses, as they're called, and you're given a vocation. And it doesn't matter if you're male or female, you're given this job to do, and it's your life's duty to become the best at it as you can and to serve your community. And that is the culture.
Yeah.
There's also no racial division. There's never been enslaved people. So a black man looks like a black man, and it doesn't mean anything different to you. And, you know, I don't necessarily go out and point out, you know, the people of color skin, but a lot of these characters could be almost any race. You know, sometimes they do say, oh, they're blonde or their eyes are this color, because I feel like it's a romanticized thing in a book to talk about their gaze or, you know, the dark head bobbing towards them as he walked over with his dark windblown hair, you know. But it's, I guess Sorrell makes me think of this, but when you read fantasy books, you have to let go of all your preconceived notions of how cultures act and how people act. Because if we grew up never knowing about slavery, if we grew up never knowing about women's rights and votes for women, like that, you know, imagine worlds without any of that, and you can write about them. And to me, that's what Loraillvon is. Yeah. You can't have like, you can't judge people based on their color when you have dragons who are the mightiest creatures ever, and they're every color. I mean, come on. But yeah, that's what I love about fantasy worlds, and I think Sorrell is a good example of that because she grew up in one culture, adopted herself into a new culture, and I would say she is the feminist of the book. She is the most like, she makes sure her voice gets heard when she wants her voice heard. And I think there's a joke between Gabriel and Eloria where this porter talks to Eloria as they're entering the Sacred Valley. This is an altar, and he says, he like basically shuts Eloria up, and Killian backs him up on being like, women don't speak. And Eloria's like, excuse me? And they walk away, and Gabriel's like, ooh, they're gonna learn what feminism is. And she's like, have they met Sorrell? Like, they know feminism. And I think I even wrote it like she makes a joke, like, they're gonna learn it by a new name. Like, they know you don't treat a woman like that because they grew up with Sorrell. Like, they know Sorrell, and she does not stand for that. Not that it happens often. But she's sure to include herself. And now here's Eloria and Gabriel from their own world. They know the term feminism, and they're like, well, they're about to learn what this term means. Like, they're going to learn it by this new name. So anyway, I went off at a tangent. That is Sorrell. She offers way more depth to the story than most people realize. And there's a little explanation of how much depth. All right, we're going to let you go. Buy my book. It helps us. It supports us. DM us. We need some more fans in our fandom. And of course, join us again because we're going to talk about Gabriel next.
Oh, yeah.
Woo.